Everybody, welcome to this week's deck study. I have a brand new deck to show you this week, and for those who like my Facebook page, already got a teaser on what this is going to be this week. Be that as it may, we are going to look at the brand new Ellusionist deck from Daniel Madison and Peter McKinnon, the Kings deck. This just got released this last Wednesday. Mine came in over the weekend, so I teased out some pictures of it yesterday. Now, you know, if you've watched my videos before, I have been a little bit of a shill for Ellusionist in the past. This deck's been a long time in the works and a long time coming, so I really had high hopes for this deck, and unfortunately I think they fell way short. And we'll get into some of that as we talk about it, but for as long as this concept came to fruition, there's just not a lot to it. There's not a lot of customization, so why they claim it took so long, I'm not sure why. They had a lot of these strange teaser videos which they did not show the cards in at all, which I can kind of see why they did that now, because there's just not a lot to it. But there are some cool things to it too, so we'll talk about those as well. But starting with the box, now it's meant to look like gold bricks. If you've watched the videos, they were kind of doing this bank robbery type thing, but the stuff they were stealing were actually the bricks of gold or the cards. So excuse me, that was kind of the concept of the videos. But the front of the box, all it is the King's logo, which is the swords and the axe from the Kings, the diamonds and the hearts. So you can kind of see them in the light here a little bit. I'll try to get in there as much as I can. But other than that, I mean, and again, it's really kind of hard to see. And there's not a lot of words. One on the side of the box says, I don't even know if you're going to be able to read this or not. One side says live like kings, and one side says think like kings. Hopefully that's coming through. The bottom of the box just has the Ellusionist Playing Card Company information on it, and the top again has the Kings logo with Madison and McKinnon on it, and it's stamped in there like you would see a stamp in a gold brick. The back is plain. There's nothing on the back of the box, so again, it kind of looks cool, but again, not a whole lot to it. So it is what it is. There's nothing on the flaps. It's plain. Now the good part about the deck is I really do like the back design. It's a really cool back design. It's got these rows of the King's logo on it, so you can see the cross of the axe and the sword, making these 6 rows and 4 columns. And it's a bordered deck, but it's not really, because it doesn't really look like a border. It's just the form of the rows and columns make a border on the back. And one thing I should note as well, this is a marked deck. The backs are marked. I'm not going to get into what the markings are. I have looked at it. It does have, I can tell you, something to do with the crossing of the swords and the axe, and which positions they're in kind of marks what the suit is and whatnot. But I won't get into any more than that. If you guys get the deck, you'll get a free PDF download that describes it in detail. So again, it really does look cool. I mean, it's pretty simplistic, to be honest, but I really like the back design. It's pretty cool, and it's nice to look at. You know, even some of the videos I've seen with this deck is being used, I really like the way it looks in effects. So it's really cool. So I like it. Back design gets a thumbs up from me. As far as the cards you get, double backer. There is no ad card, but there is an extra card that you get, and it is a Angle Zero gaff card. If you guys know what Angle Zero is, it is an effect from Daniel Madison, which has become famous. I know David Blaine's used it in some of his TV specials. It's actually quite a famous trick that he's come up with, and he gives you a gaff card to use with that effect. So there's a built-in trick. And again, if you get the deck right now, you get I think it's about a 20-minute free downloaded video with the deck, and Peter McKinnon shows you 2 tricks you can use with the double backer, and Daniel gives a pretty good explanation on how to use this gaff card. So it's a really cool extra feature, which was kind of outweighs maybe some of the bad stuff. So it's really cool that they did that. So you do get the PDF with the deck that describes the markings, and you get it's like 15 or 20 minutes on how to use this card, and how to use the double backer and a couple tricks. So that was kind of a cool throw in as well. So there's one of them. The Jokers, really plain. One Joker is the axe, one is the sword. Not too much else to say with these cards. Really, it was a pretty big letdown, to be honest. They could have done some cool things with the Jokers, I think, and I don't know, maybe they're overthinking it, or maybe I'm overthinking the simplicity of it. But you know, I don't get it really. Again, for as long as they said this was in the works, to come up with such simplistic ideas, not quite sure. But those are your Jokers. The cards, let's take a look at them. First thing I want to say is it does come in stack. It's the Mnemonica stack, which we've seen in the last little bit. The Allies, did the Allies come in Mnemonica? I think they did. So it might be kind of a new thing on how the decks are coming now. But again, I think it's Juan Tamirez, I think is his name. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, came up with a Mnemonica. He's got a book that you can get. Dan and Dave have it on their website still. It's quite expensive, but I hear it's quite definitely detailed explanation on the Mnemonica, and lots of things you can do with it. So check that out if you'd like. As you can see by the cards, actually let me show you first the Ace of Spades, which if you know Mnemonica, you'll know is in the, what's it, the 6th position, 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th position. Again, a letdown. It's pretty much the rounder's ace with some cuts to the middle of it. Again, it says Think Like Kings on the bottom, standard font used, standard pips. Again, kind of a letdown with the ace. I think they could have done something else other than just using a reused design and just putting some white through it and cutting it a little. So again, kind of disappointing there as well. So the coloring you can see is dark. The red is really, really dark. If we hold up, let me get a couple light cards here. Do the 4, and let me grab another red 4 here. I can find one. We'll just use a 3 since I can see it from here. The colors are really close. It's hard to, from a distance, to see the red to the black. It's a very deep, deep, deep burgundy red color that they used. Not sure why. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It looks pretty good. But again, I don't know why there's such a small contrast between the colors used. And the court cards are pretty good again, but they're standard. The only difference is the hearts of the Queen and King. Let me find them here. And where's Peter? There he is. And they're just the couples from the rounders. So you've got the hearts, just like in the rounders. You've got Janice McKinnon as the Queen of Hearts and Peter McKinnon as the King of Hearts. Same exact design from the rounders with a color variation. You can see that deep burgundy red, very dark, with the gold, which I like the gold interlays, and that's all the color there is, so it's just the gold and red. And just like again in the rounders, you have Rebecca Madison and Daniel as the King of Diamonds. So those are the only variations in the court cards. There aren't any other custom court cards. As you can see just by kind of thumbing through a few of them, I got the stack out of order. Oh well, I'll put it back together later. But you've got just standard Queen, you got your standard Jack of Spades. So nothing, no other magician faces or famous people on any of the other court cards. So that's why I said it's kind of a little bit disappointing that there wasn't any more customization in the deck at all. It was just standard, other than the color change and the back design. It's really, it reminds me more of a Theory 11 deck, which they do very little with customization, except for a few of their decks, which are the ones I like the most from them. Theory 11 decks I don't review a whole lot because there's not a whole lot to them other than a back design. Usually Theory 11 just does standard faces and maybe a slight color change. I mean, the decks I really like from them are the Sentinels deck, which you guys seen is a really cool deck, really cool customization in that, and the Medallions, which came out earlier in the year, which is a really, really nice deck, and they've done a lot with the color changing, and the faces on the court cards are custom as well, so really cool. So again, really disappointed in the fact that there just wasn't a whole lot to it, other than the back design, which I really like, but that's kind of where it begins and ends with this deck. So something I was looking forward to kind of let me down a little bit, but it is what it is. You're not going to like every deck you get, and I'm going to use this deck. As far as the stock goes, it's an Illusionist deck. It's thin, it handles really well, it's really smooth, it's perfect for performing with. So that obviously the quality didn't go away in that respect, but it feels just like the Rounders decks. It actually feels exactly like the white Rounders if you have them, because there's not a lot of color and a lot of thickness to the colored in the back. So the feel on this deck feels just like the white Rounders, if kind of to compare if you have that deck. So that's it for this week. Let me know what you think. If you guys like this, you think I'm way out of line, not liking the deck as much, let me know. And we'll put that in the, take it from there. But just to let you know, a couple new decks coming, which I'm really excited about. There's a new Tally-Ho deck coming out. It's already come out, and you can get it at Art of Play right now. It's the King's Edition. From Tally-Ho. It looks, the specs I've seen, this is going to be a good deck. It's awesome. It's borderless court cards, which is one of my favorite things, as you know. But you don't really see a lot of variations in the Tally-Ho decks that often. So when they come out, you definitely got to jump out into that one. And then the Expert Playing Card Company has a new deck coming out. I'm not sure when it's going to be released. But I've seen some teasers for it that looks really good as well. So when I have more news on that, I will pass it along. Other than that, that's it for this week. Again, the King's deck from Illusionist. A little bit of a letdown. But again, you do get the bonus stuff. You get the DVD, you get the PDF that explains the markings. And again, fairly standard. So again, let me know what you think. I'm interested to see if you guys share the same opinions. And again, if you think I'm way out of the box, then let me know, and we'll talk about it. So have a good one, and we'll see you out there. Thanks.